Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Sprints. We are featuring Fablen and TBR Harvest, and we've got Neva with us. Woohoo, friends. Always love to have friends on screen. I see that a few people have already joined. Hello, Vanessa. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great Tuesday, Glenda. Louise is here too. Oh, I'm so glad that this is perfect, that you've got stuff you got to get done. Baking while listening to Truly Madly Deeply by LJ Shen. Awesome. And I'm keeping you company in your kitchen. I've been in your kitchen, like in real life, by the way, if anyone's interested in realizing that. Hello, adventures. Probably going to be bouncing between As Old as Time. Oh, okay. Disney Twisted Tales and doing some story writing prep. That sounds awesome. Hello, Michael. Happy harvesting. Yes, and it's the last week. Isn't that crazy? I realized I've got closing sprints on Thursday. So that's something you guys might want to add in your calendars. Danny Dabbles, another harvester. She is going from 12 to 6 Eastern time. And then I'm starting at 6 and going for quite some time. Will I go until midnight? I don't know. But just, for people who are interested, working through Frankenstein today. And if I finished that, I'll work on finishing The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Still an author I have never tried. Hello, Renee. I hope you're doing well. You are finishing up a middle grade time travel book. Drop the title in the comments. I love middle grade books and I love time travel books. It's one of my favorite tropes. Hello, Bronwyn. Hope you're doing well. Also, we've got Julie, which is great. We've got Beatrice. Everybody's here. This is really awesome. And thanks for the reminder, Glenda. I really do appreciate that. Also, Masquerader. Hello. Happy harvest. Livia's here too. Hello, Livia. We've got Alex and Abs. We've got Ro. Hello, Anna. I hope you're doing well. Also, we've got Bethany joining from work / home office, knocking out some tedious tasks and some meetings this afternoon. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, Rainy, you're on your break. Hello. We are giving you a break from the children. Planning on reading more of A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Yes. Oh my gosh. So this is a great segue. I am going to be reading The God of the Woods, and I am really enjoying it. Like, I really, really like this one. I enjoyed Long Bright River. I actually thought that was pretty good for a mystery thriller, something I'm not, typical to read, especially because it's pretty chonky. Like, these are chonky, mystery thrillers, but I'm really, really enjoying it. So, woohoo! I've got the audio for a couple more days, so I'm going to immersion read it until it goes away, and then I'm just going to keep physically reading it. But I'm feeling really good about this. Like, this is a really strong contender. And at the moment, I could see it being the book I vote for in the Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm just saying, at the moment, I'm just throwing it out there. It might be what I vote for. But Neva, what are you doing today, by the way?
I am finishing Take My Hand. So this is just like a book that I just had sitting from book of the month since like 2022. It's fine. I'm not really a historical fiction type of person, but I am really enjoying this because it runs in 2 timelines. So it runs in a 2016 timeline and then a 1973 timeline in Montgomery, Alabama. And our main character is a Black woman who she's a nurse at like a clinic, like a women's clinic. So like a Planned Parenthood clinic. So she like goes, she has these young patients that are, I think when the story starts, they're 11 and 13. And she has to like go give them the Depo-Provera shot, which I didn't even know they had Depo-Provera in the 70s. I thought that was a newer birth control. Mm-hmm. That shows how much I know. And there's just a lot of things that happen in this book. Like, I don't want to say too much in case you want to read this book, but yeah, something like pretty tragic happened to like the 2 girls. Basically they had to get like a major surgery, and like both of them did, and it's just like a lot. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's commentary on like how America viewed Black women when it came to them having like babies and having birth control.
Mm-hmm.
There are some white women in here too, but we don't focus on them. We're mostly focused on the main character and then the two girls that are like her patients or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's good.
I really only heard good things about it. And the thing is I don't read just like straight historical fiction very often, but when I do, I typically find it like very thought provoking and I like it. It's just not a genre because it's a slower genre. I feel like you expect to read it more slowly, which is just very funny. Yeah.
And I'm like almost halfway through this book. I'm on page 144. Like I'm almost halfway through this book and I feel like not a lot has really, I mean, something did happen in the last like 10 pages, but like before that, like not a lot was happening. Like she was just talking about like trying to get them housing and like trying to help them. But it's a lot more of like life stuff that's happening and not really like anything, you know, it's just slower. For sure.
Yeah, it's just like a slow burn genre. And you know, it's funny enough, I don't think I mentioned this. God of the Woods is set in 1975 at the moment. Like it's also historical.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know when I went into it. So look at us on a theme we didn't even know we were having. Let's see here. Stacy's here too. You're reading Obsidio, also having a sick toddler. No, but you can snuggle and hopefully make them, feel comfortable as much as possible. I see you reading. Oh my gosh, Rainy! I should have as I was going off saying this could be, my pick. But yeah, it's a potential Goodreads choice. I'm on the fence, friends, about trying to read as many potential books as possible in case I want to do content surrounding the mystery thriller genre, but I also feel not confident about it.
I intend to do this. Like I intended to do this last year. I intended to do it this year. And then, but the genres that I would want to read, I've already read a lot of the books. So like there wouldn't even be that much content because like the romance genre, like I read a lot of the books that are being picked as they were picked as nominations. So I'm like, I don't want to reread these books just for content.
Yeah, well, for me, I wouldn't reread it. Like I'm trying to read down the potential list of books I'd have to read. So then if it feels manageable, I would then do a vlog for it. But if it's like, all the top 10 or all 10 books I haven't read, you guys aren't getting that content. I'm not reading it.
I wouldn't do like me personally. I wouldn't do like romantasy or fantasy, probably either one.
Yeah, a lot of series.
Just because there's so many series, and like it'll be like because I know one of them that's in a nomination is like one of the Zodiac Academy books, but it's like number 9. I'm not trying to, and so like I know that like Rainy, because she's doing romantasy, I'm pretty sure she like binged the Zodiac Academy series so she could read that book, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
And even like what is it, the Housemaid's Secret or the Housemaid's Watching? Which one's the third one?
So it's the Housemaid's Secret, the Housemaid is Watching.
So even that one, like we're seeing like a series in that, and I'm like, I haven't read anything by this author, and there's a potential three books will be on the list for her.
Katie sent me a screenshot of somebody's story from this morning, or shared a story with me this morning, or maybe it was last night, but I saw it this morning. And I guess there's like a novella coming out now called The Housemaid's Wedding. And I'm like, why? Because we got a conclusion at the end of The Housemaid is Watching. Because Katie and I read that whole series together.
I know you guys. I remember you guys did that actually. Yeah. So I don't know, Rainy. I wish you luck, but I don't know if we'll see if I'm on that journey. And also, yes, it is a mystery. Wink, wink. I love the pun. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm just worried about how many thrillers are going to be in the top 10, and if it's like actually likely for me to, feel confident that I could read, as many of them in a row too. Right? That's quite a trek for some people to be able to read so much in one genre or one subgenre. Right. So yeah, I don't know where I was. Oh, Bia, hello Bia, welcome. Good to see you. Feeding the little while watching some booktube sounds great. Akawar, Lord of Chaos. Ooh, nice. Reading those two books together. But you won't get to pick up a book until after the kids get ready for bed tonight. I still need to read some of The Room. Oh, yes, for the haunted house. Oh, the sequel to Scarlet Alchemist. This book has just been put on my radar, by the way, the first book. So if you enjoyed the first one, obviously you're saying the second one is so good. Okay, that's good to know. Escaped from the haunted house and the court maze. That's awesome, Livia. I've realized that the only, and we all knew this, a lot of you predicted this, but the only board I actually could probably finish by the end of the month is the corn maze, and so that's the one I'm working on. Like I have this other book in the wings, The Perils of Lady Catherine de Bourgh, and that's for my CAT. So there's a few things I'm trying. You can read the historical time travel reverse it. I know. Honestly, the only thing is I don't know if I'm a why choose person. I've only ever read one why choose, and it was Hate. So maybe that was a bad choice by I can't remember what the author's name
James.
is.
It's when we
Yeah.
did the Can We Trust Crystal vlog, because that was our group read, I think.
Yes. I'm gonna star this.
I feel like I don't know that I would have had everybody that hadn't read a Why Choose start with that one. I enjoyed it, and so did Brooklyn, but we both read Why Choose a lot.
Yeah, and I think my problems weren't even the why choose though. There were some elements that
Very
I don't
bully
think aged well.
romance too. And there were things in that book that did not age well. But like
Right.
also like if you didn't like the aspect of the bullying in it, then like everything else would have also been a problem.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
If you weren't having
Elena.
time with the romance parts, then like everything else sticks out that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Reading Forged by Blood. Oh my gosh, that is. And then I'm sorry, just because I got distracted because I was about like Blood Form, but it's Blood from Ehegbor Okasan. Okay, awesome, very nice. The Last Musketeer. Okay, got that. Let's see here. Reading Don't Let the Forest In. Oh, I feel like I've heard about that title. Finishing up Southern Book Club. Ooh, guide. Okay, and then continuing Discovery of Witches. I've still never read any Grady Hendrix. Maybe one day.
I love Southern Book Club's guide. I'm just gonna say if that's where you start, that's where I started with Grady Hendrix. So I'm not saying it's a bad place to start, but if that's where you start, just be aware that it's gross. Like there's just gross, like it's horror. So like there is gross things that happen. I would probably tell people that haven't read Grady Hendrix to probably start with like Horror Store or My Best Friend's Exorcism. They're a little bit more like tame, I guess. Like it's still horror, but they're a little bit more tame. But I mean, Southern Book Club's guide is like one of my favorite Grady Hendrix. It's just gross.
It's the gross kind of horror. Okay, that's what I've been told. I've been told that. So like you aren't the first to warn me about it. Hello, Tracy. Also, we got Pucks reading Queer Light Nightmares. Awesome, an anthology. I'd love to put God of the Woods next month. I'm working on filming my TBR. Maybe I'll try to fit. Like I'm honestly really enjoying it. Like I went in so blind, and I didn't realize that it's set in like the Adirondacks, and I'm from upstate New York, so it's really fun to see. Yeah, I feel like Liz Moore, she must live in this area. She must live in like Pennsylvania or New York, because her other book was set in Philadelphia, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I feel like you're just setting books kind of where I live, in the state that I live, at least. So yeah, Anna, I'm really liking it so far. So Glenda's finishing The Truth According to Ember, then reading The House at Watch Hill. Hello, Jill. You're going to be finishing up A Most Agreeable Murder. Ooh, that sounds really fun. I love mysteries, and that sounds like a great title. Also enjoyed Long Bright River. So you purchased God of the Woods when it was released. You still didn't get to it. Like I'm only finally getting to it because the fact that my Libby audio is going away, and the physical book, there's such a long list that I know I won't be able to renew it from my library. So it's like, I'm glad that it finally made me read it because I'm really liking it. Like, it's been
I
really
think
gripping so
I
far.
think I'm the only one that like missed something with Long Bright River. I tried to read Long Bright
Mhm.
River. It was one of the books that Kelsey gave me.
Yeah.
And I tried to do the audio and I started with the ebook and then I was like, I don't really know what's happening. So I tried to switch to the audio and I think I made it 20-ish% in and I
Mm.
did because I was like,
It is
I
a slow burn, like, that it's
don't
a slow burn, chonky thriller, and I will say that, like, the ending, I didn't think was as impressive, but the book as a whole was really great, so when I sat on it, I gave it 3 stars, but when I think about that book a lot, so I think that's kind of interesting that in the end, I gave it 3 stars, and I still maybe I should have given it higher, like, I thought about giving it 4 for me, so it's one of those books I kind of regret maybe giving it too low, maybe I was too critical, whereas now I'm like, I'm really loving The God of the Woods. It's been really good. Reading Foxglove, A Soul to Heal and Love, theoretically for Fablen, for some trick or treat prompts. Awesome. Finished your list plus for October. Very nice. And finishing the month out with Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft. Oh my gosh, Tracy, you were doing some classics. Hello, Hannah. Reading on Kindle, When It Rains by Stephen Wilkins. And on audio, I have Vivid by Ashley Bustamante. I'm assuming that's how you say it. I rolled all of my rolls for TBR Harvest, and the Witchy Vibes prompt is your last one. Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is awesome. And I love that you're juggling a couple reads because that's what we all do here, isn't it? Don't really read witchy stuff. So I tried to find a book. Yeah, like I feel like witchy can just be like magic. It doesn't necessarily have to have a witch in the story because I think I ended up reading a book that was like had a curse in it. It wasn't like a curse by a witch, but I was like, witches and curses are kind of two and two. Oh yeah, here's where I started jumping around and like seeing people's comments. Good morning, Jojo. I hope your morning's starting off really well. Reading between The Dream Haunters and The Butcher and the Wren. Ooh, very
I
nice.
hope
And
that
then
you
Rainy
like
had
The Butcher
confirmed.
and the Wren. I need to read the second book. I actually DNF Butcher and the Wren the first time I read it.
Mhm.
It's written by a podcaster from Morbid Podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts.
Mhm.
And I DNF'd it the first time I read it, but I think I wasn't in like a spot, like I don't think I was in like a thriller era, which is why I DNF'd it because I reread it and I gave it 4 stars. But she just came out with the second book.
Right.
To read that.
Yeah, I did see that, and I think it was getting quite a lot of buzz actually. Hello, Paco. We also have Linz. Good morning. Hello, Jen. Reading Lock Every Door. Also, we've got Julie working from home. Appreciate being able to hang out. Yeah, and we'll be productive. So don't worry, friends. I just want to get through this. Like, this will be our longest chatty bit as we like get through the comments and greet everybody. But I promise, those of you who are working from home, we will be productive. Going to read One Piece for your final haunted house room. Oh, my, you've been reading so much One Piece this month, and I support it. It's amazing. But first, I need to go vote. You shall return. Got done eating dinner in 10 minutes. Very nice. Congratulations. I hope you were able to enjoy it. Now I have to crack on with the night activity for next weekend scout trip. Ooh, I hope it's fun. I hope you've got good weather too, because it's always touch and go. The kitties are within my reach. Just a few more. Yes, we need to collect them. They need good homes. Hello, Pinar. I'll be reading Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. Awesome. Another very well loved book and author. Hello, Witchy. Reading Butcher and Blackbird. Oh my gosh, this is another, yeah.
I'm going to say this. If you are not enjoying it, just DNF it. If
Yeah,
you're,
that might
I don't know
be.
how far you are, but if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to.
Yeah, and I will say, personally, I think everybody who knows me well enough in my reading taste, like this wouldn't be a book I would ever read, and we
Do
just
not
know
read
that.
it. Leandra, if you
So
told me that if you were like, hey, I'm reading Butcher and Blackbird, I would be like, why? I have
yeah,
read it.
you would be like, no, Leandra. So
I
Witchy, don't feel badly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I gave it 6 stars. I read it when it came out. I gave it 6 stars. I own a physical copy. I also own a physical copy of Leather and Lark, which I need to finish. We're not going to talk about that, but I I really did like Butcher and Blackbird,
Mhm.
but I understand why people would not.
Yeah. And this comment, Alex, about like hearing the gross stuff, it does amplify it. When I was immersion reading, The Eyes Are the Best Part, and I was hearing the descriptions of the eyes. And I was
Yeah,
like, okay, this is
I
way
also
more
listened to
visceral.
Southern Book Club's guide, and I worked at
Mm-hmm.
Dunkin' Donuts at the time when I listened to it. Like, I was listening to it at work.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's definitely more gross to listen to it, but
Agreed. Hello, Ali. How are you? Just jumping in for a few while I wait for the kiddos bus. Sounds good. Also, Helen's here. Hello. You're playing The Sims 4. Oh my gosh. I finally, because I got a new computer setup, I finally downloaded my games and like Steam and like EA and everything. So now I'm like, I can finally play The Sims again. So yeah, I hope you're having the greatest time. And then we've got a question for Rainy. Loved Butcher and Blackbird. I need to get my hands on Leather and Lark. Feel the same on LBR. What is LBR? What did I miss? Long Bright River. Got it. Don't worry,
onward.
Elena. I clicked. It was a bit of a slog, but the journey of reading it sticks with me. Yeah, so that's why I was like, it is a rating I kind of regret. I wish I had given it higher. I always can, but it's stayed with me for so long. I'm really impressed by this author. Oh, have you read We Used to Live Here? You know what's crazy is I did borrow that from the library. I have the physical copy in another room. And I haven't read it yet, but that was the one. Was it like a Reddit story? And then the
I
guy
think
ended up
so.
getting it published. So I haven't. Vanessa, are
Vanessa
you asking because you think I should? Let me know.
Vanessa just finished it yesterday because I saw her post about it on her story.
Oh my
I have
gosh.
to, I'm waiting for it to come through on Libby. Once it comes through on Libby, basically everything else will get dropped so I can read it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it'll be on Libby, which means I need to get to it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Also, I want to. Yeah, so because we have it at we had it in my library, and I was like, wait a second, is this the same book? I think I've heard a lot of buzz about. A lot of people have said that might be on the horror Goodreads Choice Awards list. Funnily enough, it's not the gross stuff that making me question DNFing. It's just dragging. Okay, that makes sense. Hello, Maria. Just in time. We're going to be starting a sprint soon. Let's see here. You're going to be reading this evening, but you finished before the coffee gets cold today. Ooh, that's on my list too. It's one that I think I would really like, but I want to take my time with it. So please immersion read it. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I should immersion read that book. We used to live here.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll have to go see if I can get the audio then too, because
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to see if I
the
can borrow the
last
audio
the
too.
last like horror thriller style book that I immersion read was Hidden Pictures, and
Mhm.
it made Hidden Pictures way more creepy because I had the physical book, so I can. Well, I mean, I own the physical book. Somebody gifted it to me, so I can like look at you can look at the drawings in the book
Mhm.
while you listen to it because the drawings are creepy. Like, and they in the audio for Hidden Pictures they do describe to you what the pictures look like, but
Mhm.
it's a different thing to like actually be looking at the drawings while you're getting like the audio description of them.
Right, like the mixed media. That's why I want to read Night Film because I've heard that the mixed media is very creepy in that book too, where you're like seeing the articles and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, anyways, we've been chatting all of your ear off, and we need to get being productive. So we're gonna have an hour-long sprint, and then we may try to catch up in the next chat and have like a quicker chat bit, just so that we can still squeeze in 3 sprints in these 4 hours. But we will see everybody in an hour. Happy sprinting. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I did see that we had quite a few people join us, so I'm going to quickly say hello to them before we carry on. Where even was I? Let me see here. Oh, there we are. We've got Courtney. Also, Danny joined, but I also saw that Danny was probably going to miss the next chatty bits. Also, Vanessa is, very happy to say that the tart is in the oven. Congratulations. Now you can just relax and read. Hey, Teresa. We've got Greta crocheting, listening to an audiobook. That sounds lovely. The perfect evening. Also, Brecht is here. Hello. Reading The Raven Boys, listening to The Last Thing He Told Me. Alicia. Hello, Alicia. Just joining, but it seems that you are starting Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Ooh, a bit of a summary read this autumn. Also, hello, Amal. Good to see you. We've also got Jenny, which is great. Hello, KRT. Kurt, possibly. I was apparently an hour off on the start time, so just arriving. I'll be reading my final book to complete all the boards for TBR Harvest. Oh my gosh, you are a reading fiend. Good for you. That's amazing. Also, Kat, hello. Just got home having dinner. Oh, that's awesome. Having dinner now. Also, the thing that we talked about, I will send it to you. I'll probably record in my next sprint, and I'll be sure to record something for you as well. Also, this is the comment that I mentioned that Danny was probably going to miss us the next time. Hello, Jane, reading The 100 Years War on Palestine for my book club that meets tonight. 40 pages to go. Oh my gosh. Also, that's probably going to be a very, impactful, thought-provoking and heavy discussion. So I hope that it goes well and that everyone, ends up being able to have a really good discussion about it. Hello, Jen. New to my channel. Oh my gosh, lovely. So glad to have you here. So I'm excited to be here. My bookshop is participating in a trunk or treat this evening. So I'm finishing treat bags while listening to Leather and Lark. You're not the only one who is reading this series actually today. So that's really fun, Jen. And we also do a trunk and treat in our area. And I had never known that that was a thing until I moved here. And I was like, that is actually such a great idea. So sounds lovely. I'm sure that the treat bags that you're making are just the cutest thing. Made some more curry, for dinner. Got up to 19% in Truly Madly Deeply. Awesome. And I think with that comment, I've realized that we have almost just reached where everyone is telling us how they did, but I do see a few more people I want to say hello to. So Jen's here. Hope everyone is well today. Back to work after having 6 days off. Oh my gosh. I know that sounds like honestly paradise. I love all the jobs I work for, but it's always nice when you're like, I have no obligations, nothing to do. And then also Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah. And I also saw Atia. I think I must have missed her comment, but Atia, I see you. I just want to let you know, and I'll highlight these comments when we get to them. But let's say how we did. So I ended up deciding to really divide up my hour. I ended up reading The God of the Woods. I got to page 90. Then I switched to The Perils of Lady Catherine de Bourgh because I'm buddy reading this with Julie from Keep Comment with Books and Coffee, and I am a day behind. So I'm trying to play catch up, but I'm really enjoying both books. And I also have been doing a little prep because I think I do want to record today. So we'll see if I record in this sprint or the next one, but it will happen during these sprints. How did you do, Neva? What'd you get up to?
I did not read. Well, I started to read. I read like 2 chapters or 2 pages, not 2 chapters. I read like 2 pages, and then my brother came home because he had a doctor's appointment this afternoon, so there really was no point in him going back to school after his doctor's appointment because it was at like 11:30. And then we were listening to Epic the musical. So,
nice. Sounds great. Yeah, you know what? These are just Tuesday sprints. We're productive in different types of ways. That's just what it is. It's not always reading. Meanwhile, Jen finished 9th prompt of the trick or treat board. Woohoo! Have 2 ongoing to try to finish by Thursday. Finished Food Wars, volume 27. Awesome, Atia. Take My Hand is such a good book. Yeah, I've been meaning to read it. Like so many people love it. Hello, how are you, Matt? I hope you're doing well. I feel like I haven't seen you very often, but also I'm pretty sure you live in Europe, so it's quite late for you. Read about 35 pages and chatted with one of my sons. Awesome, Jen. Social productivity is what that is. Finished chapter. Oh, right at the timer ended. Yes, I love that for you, Una. And you read about 35 pages of the spell shop. Awesome. I'm sure you're all in the cozy vibes right now. Got to page 80 of 484. Okay, so very early days for you. Took a minute because wanted to slap some of these people. Oh no, these characters are just not. They're not being smart, or maybe they're being annoying. Hello, Laura. Reading The Final Gambit. Ooh, that's Is that in the Inheritance game series, or is it something else, Laura? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure the Final Gambit is part of Inheritance games.
That's what I thought. Neva.
I mean, don't ask me. I've only read the first book. Do I own the entire series on my Kindle?
That's one of those where I can see the style of the cover, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's part of the Inheritance
and I've
game.
read, I think it might be the fourth one in that series.
It felt like it might have been the third or fourth.
One, I'm pretty sure, is the third one. I don't remember what the second one is called, even though it's a blue. The second one is a blue cover, I think.
Or it goes like green, blue.
Yeah.
Maybe red.
But I've only read the first book. I really should pick up the second one because it is a series that I want to continue reading. It'll happen one day.
Yeah, for me, I'm sure I will try it one day. What's my hang up is like sometimes YA works for me and sometimes it doesn't. It has nothing to do with the storyline, with the author's writing style. Like just sometimes I just can't get past the fact that it's YA. It's very weird because I also just read this past month a YA that I really, really enjoyed. So here we are. Alex finished Southern Book Club. That was a gruesome ending, and Neva's nodding, saying, uh-huh. Yes. Hello, Jay. 30% through Into the Shadow of the Empress. Renee finished a book. Congratulations. Now you're eating dinner. That sounds lovely. Nourishing your body. I feel like I always say I'm going to do like 10 million things because I was also thinking about making myself a snack. So I plan on doing a lot next sprint, apparently. Hello, Teresa. Yes, you made it. Yahoo. How are you doing today? What are you up to? Gonna finish Pompeii by Robert Harris. Historical fiction. You are with us today, Kat. We are all reading, not all of us, but at least Neva and I are reading historical fiction too. And the one that I don't have on screen, this is also a historical mystery. So again, just layers of historical fiction going on. And you only have 60 pages left, so you're very close to the end. Hello, Hazelnut, reading The Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. Not really spooky themed, but it's a mystery, so it works. And it's a transition, right? Mystery can be a little bit spooky. There's murder, and there's a lot of puzzles in that one. You're also transitioning into maybe a bit more of a wintry read. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this one because for me, it might have been timing, but I ended up DNFing that. It surprises me as well. I'm assuming you're going to be surprised to hear that, but it surprised me to actually DNF that one. Got to chapter 33, have 3 chapters and an epilogue left. Almost done with the night activity for scouts. Awesome. So let's see here. Got through to make sure everything. Yes, right. Everything's correct. You're not forgetting anything. Because especially like with a scouting trip, it's not the same thing as, once we get there, we'll buy what we forgot. It's like, no, you need everything. you cannot, if you forget something, there's no access to it. 62 pages of Christmas Murder Game. Awesome. We are decorating the trunk like a haunted library, and the treat bags have coloring bookmarks, crayons, some candy treats. Very exciting. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. So this Thursday, I'm hosting closing sprints, but at the library where I work, we have like all the businesses. It's usually the Thursday before Halloween, but because Halloween's on a Thursday, we're doing it on that night, along with obviously all the other shops in the area, including, homes. And yeah, everyone comes by and like walks through the library in their outfits, and we've got candy, but we also have items with like, toys or other kind of things for those who might be like allergic or, just aren't going to be taking candy. So yeah, I love this season. It's so fun to see what everybody does. But that sounds like a great idea for your trunk. For oh my gosh, 54% of love theoretically. Awesome, Livia. 8:30 p.m. in Germany. I was gonna say, I was like, I know for a fact that you're in Europe, so still recovering from a bad cold, but slowly getting better. Okay, I hope you plan on like having a nice long sleep tonight. Maybe you're having a tea with you, but it is the season where everyone's getting cold. So I've felt as though I might be getting a cold in like the last week, but I think I shook it. I think we're good. 4 pages of the women. Awesome, Jenny. It's the third book. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure, because I think Final Gambit is also the like the red cover, because I think it goes green, blue, and then red. So that makes sense. 45% of the way through When It Rains by Stephen Wilkins. I'm going to switch to my audiobook now and see if I can get my kitchen clean. See, this is why with A God of the Woods, because I have the audiobook today, I was thinking, if I need to, I can go clean, because I think that's also what I want to do one of these sprints. Oh my gosh. We try to get too much done, I think, but you know what? It helps us stay productive. Jojo got to 37%, played some Animal Crossing. Very nice. Some cozy sprinting. 3 books left to go. Starting A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. Another author that I think may surprise people. I still haven't read anything by her. I mean, I've been meaning to read something by T. Kingfisher. I just don't know what to start with. So I'll figure it out one day. Hello, Steph. Hanging out, hoping to actually pick up a book this afternoon. And if you don't, that's okay. You know what? I've realized that there might need to be days where I just don't read, because it feels weird when it's like a habitual thing that you do every day and you're like, you don't have to read if you don't want to. 22% of Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Awesome, Rainy. Getting ready to go to the pumpkin patch with the kids for our annual photos. I know that Rope Crewman went to the pumpkin patch before sprints. I saw that comment. Hello, Chris. Oh my goodness. It's lovely to see you. We're always just passing each other by, I feel like. I want to finish my arc of Allie Smith's Glyph today, so I can start a new book on Agatha Christie. I approve, obviously, of that. Work ran a bit late, but off now. I think hopefully no more calls, no more urgent emails. I'll cross my fingers for you. Right after I left the polls, the local park was right there, so I went for a jog. Oh my gosh, that sounds great, especially if it's good weather. Eloise has RSV, so sickness is death going. Truly, it honestly, I think everyone is going to be getting sick this month or next month, which is unfortunate, because this is also when we're all making plans together, family things, friends things. Watched Danny's new video, had dinner, and read 2 chapters of my book. Found a new ambiance video. Ooh, I love that. I have a playlist of ambiance videos for when I need to read and just kind of want stuff in the background. Yeah, it's really aesthetically pleasing. Also, good reminder that Danny has a video up. Hoping to either listen to Kate McKinnon's middle grade audio. What? I had no idea that she had a middle grade audio. Stopped by McDonald's, was doing so well. You went for a run, and then, you treated yourself. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. See, this is the one I started it back during Amazing Readathon, but I didn't end up reading it just because another prompt dropped. But I did enjoy what I had read.
I meant
Mm-hmm.
to read that during Mystic, and I never got to it.
Honestly,
I still have it.
It's a really easy read.
Yeah, it's on my fall TBR, so I hope to get to it before the end of November, because for me, fall goes into the first week of December.
Yeah. Yeah, and it feels like actually would be a really cozy read, wouldn't it? For November, December. Might have to read that actually. And also So Thirsty. That one is on my TBR for Bucket Listathon. Was not the plan, but the board decided it, and I am excited for it. Maybe I could try a T. Kingfisher middle grade horror fairy tale. Oh, because pretty versatile writer actually Kingfisher is, so that could be interesting to kind of compare what kind of T. Kingfisher I like. Oh no, you're not loving it. You're so thirsty. No, that's not good. Maybe that means I will like it though, because usually we disagree. So maybe that's high hopes for me. Getting or going to be sick. I know it's you can just kind of feel it. You're like, something's happening. just picked up September House. Oh, Tracy, I hope you like it. I really loved that book. That was excellent. I say that as I'm on day 6 of being sick. No, not to be controversial, but it's better to shelf our books according to color, last name, other authors. Hold on.
So
Oh, is it better to shelve? I think that it depends on you. I shelve them by have read and haven't read first and foremost. Like I have a section of my have read, I have a section for my haven't read, and then I organize within that by genre because I'm a mood reader.
so I do 2 of these things at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I shelve my books according to genre and then author's last name.
Yeah.
Because I want all of my now I did it this way because originally when I first decided I needed to like organize my bookshelves to look like something when I started BookTube,
Mm-hmm.
and not just look like a cluster of books. I did it by like in alphabetical order or by published date of the book with the
Mm-hmm.
author, but also by genre. I stopped doing it that way because I didn't like my series being broken up. And there are a lot of authors.
Understandable.
Colleen Hoover was the one that I actually ran into this happening. Sarah J. Maas is another one. There are books that she writes for multiple series at a time. So
Mm-hmm.
there would be books like there would be like ACOTAR books, but then she wrote Crescent City before she finished. Like, and I didn't like it. I want all my series to be together, so I just do it by author's last name and genre, and then I just group the series together.
Yeah. See, I don't like putting my books together in a series until I've read all of them. Because then I feel like
That's
they're all just mixed together. Yeah.
but
So I think it's
you
just
also
whatever
do
works
it,
best for you.
but you also do it so that your unread books, like your TBR books, are separate, right?
Yeah, because I want to. My fear is that by mixing everything together, I'll just forget about books that I haven't
Have read.
read. Like it'll just be mixed in, and I'll always overlook it because it's surrounded up by books I have read. So I'll just not see it ever. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like out of sight, out of mind.
And I think I've always kept an inventory of my physical TBR so I can
Mm-hmm.
keep track of. So it's easy enough for me to be like, to go look at my spreadsheet and say, oh, this is because I mark whether it's like read, unread, halfway through, like whatever the status of the actual book is. And I think that's why I do it that way. But if I was to have more than one shelf, I think that I would also do it that way and then just shelve the books from series that as I finish them back into where they would go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and obviously we're also like for me, what I've said is only my physical TBR. Like I no organization for like the ebooks I have on my e-reader or anything, and
Oh
and
yeah,
that's
my
probably why I don't do
e-reader,
them.
my Kindle is literally, I do use collections. I've shown that before on my channel, which I mean, I can do more collections
Mm-hmm.
videos if people need them or want them. But basically, I just sort everything by genre. So I sort everything by genre, and then I have a TBR, like a monthly TBR section, and then
Mm-hmm.
my arcs are all the exception to the genre thing is that my arcs are actually in collections based on the month and the year that they will come out. So they will be released is how I have
Oh,
them, because then I
good
know,
idea.
like, say it's October, it's time to read my November arcs. I can go to my November 2024 arcs collection and I have them all right there. And then I can just look at NetGalley to see the order that I need to read them in. But everything else,
Yeah.
like my books that I buy or get for free or whatever, those are sorted by genre. And then I have a Kindle Unlimited collection that is just Kindle Unlimited books. That way I know what needs, I mean, obviously they're labeled, but that way I know what needs to go back and what doesn't. And then I have Libby, which my Libby is just a Libby collection. All my library books go in there. They don't get sorted into genre because I'll forget which ones I own and which ones I don't.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Also, Atia, I like that you're like, oh yeah, I am gonna forget about my unread, so you would like to separate have read with haven't read, but also we need aesthetic, right? Like you were saying, hey, the rainbow shelf is just because it looks nice. I agree. You know, you got to have some aesthetics there, and I will like put books up so that I can like show books I love. So I kind of don't really follow my own rules. Meanwhile, Kat does it by language first, which is really fascinating. English, Dutch, occasionally French, understandable. I love that representation, showing that like language could definitely be a reason for why you separate your shelves, organize my physical shelves. They're getting out of it. Yeah, and it's very soothing. Once in a while, I'll switch up how I shelve things just because it brings me like nice calm. And also, thank you so much, Chris. I really do appreciate you. You never have to, donate any money. And no one else has to do like a super chat or anything like that. But I do really appreciate you, Chris. So thank you so much. Pucks has gotten 24% into Queer Little Nightmares. Middle grade is split between science fiction fantasy and non-science fiction fantasy, then organized by author's last name. That's another way to do it too. I hope you guys have noticed I've switched it to 45 because, we're just in a chatty mood today. We're talking, but we're having good talks. Like, honestly, organizing your shelves is one of my favorite ways to talk. So it's super fun. And in fact, we're still talking about it. Nonfiction. Oh, yeah, my nonfiction is separate, actually. Like, all my nonfiction is completely separate. Have my English books separate shelves, too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
love
would if I had more.
that. Mm-hmm.
So I have certain things that I know once I get shelves, which I'm in the process of rearranging things, which is why I don't film in my room
Mm-hmm.
right now. So I can get shelves. Like I know that there will be certain genres that will get their own shelf because usually what I do is I'll start like with fantasy and then fantasy will run into romance like that. But they will be like
Mm-hmm.
as you look at it, you can see like where the genres change because also the author's last names start over, right?
Mm-hmm.
um but there will be certain things that get their own shelf. Like I plan to have a nonfiction shelf, a classic shelf, and a dark romance shelf, just simply because those I know can fill up quickly depending on what I'm
Sure.
buying.
Yeah, that
And I
makes
would
sense.
like to be a classics girly. Will I be one? I don't know. But Barnes and Noble has really pretty editions of
Mm-hmm.
classics. And I feel like if anything is going to get me to branch out and read more classics, it's going to be pretty editions.
We're a sucker for a gorgeous cover. It is what it is. Well, on that note, we'll get into our second sprint. It is going to be 45, and then I can kind of gauge how much time we have left for our final sprint. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for continuing to chat with us and, giving in your own 2 cents about those questions. And thanks, Chris, for that question, because that was awesome.
Chris asks
Okay.
wonderful questions.
I know, Chris. We can always count on Chris for giving us like a really thoughtful, bookish question. I love it. All right, we will see everybody in 45 minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Neva may have to miss this chatty bit, or at least she's going to come back late, which is totally fine. Let me know how you did. It did seem as though we continued our conversation about shelving, so I'm going to quickly look at this. My read and unread are on different bookcases, same with nonfiction, but my TBR is loosely organized by genre. Yeah, like I know I've talked about this with Danny, who's also going to be missing this chatty bit, as she said. And like, I think I almost made her head explode with like the number of ways I organize my shelves in just, I'm like, you know what? It's a system I understand. And that's all that matters. Wow, I made it back just in time to start the next sprint, getting snacks. That sounds great. I hope that the snacks helped you through. We lost Kat, which was totally fine. I mean, when you're tired and it's late in Belgium, you got to go to bed. Hello, Heather. We gained a Heather, though, reading the Christmas Tree Farm book 3 in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe series. Ooh, everyone's been reading that series recently, actually, too. And then I think that's where we were at before people started mentioning how they did. So I ended up doing some planning for my next video, so I kind of like know what I'm going to be saying and where I'm going. And I had to do some calculations because I'm doing my wrap up for the month. I know that seems kind of crazy because the month isn't over yet, but I feel confident, like I know what's gonna end, like what I'm gonna finish, what I'm not, and what I do finish. But if it should have been on this list, I'll just mention it next time, which is fine. And then I, just in the nick of time, which seems to be a trend, I finished yesterday's pages for Perils of Lady Catherine de Bourgh. So now I'm kind of caught up. I have 3 chapters I have to read today for my buddy read, but I was like, I'm so close. I might as well just finish it. So I did that. And then now I can film in the next one and hopefully return to God of the Woods. Beneva, how did you do?
You're welcome. I got Ari from the bus.
Very nice. Woohoo. Let's see. Where are we?
And I read one chapter.
Oh, and you read one chapter.
Yeah, it's still good. Like the book is still good. I'm still enjoying the book.
Yeah, making progress. And actually, on that note, I can bring back the graphics, which I totally forgot about. Meanwhile, Teresa got 3 chapters into a book. Meal prepping. Oh my gosh, apples to make pies later. Apple pies are like, apple pie is my favorite pie. I don't.
Pie too.
It may, I dare say, be my favorite dessert. Is that crazy for me to say? It might be I like brownies too, but I think that apple pie, it's great warmed up, put ice cream on it. I mean, just, it's delicious. I really like it. But anyways, 431, you're on page 431 in the Reformatory. That's been on my list this year. I never got to it though. I know it's based off of a true experience from the author's family, which is really crazy. Ended up having supper that time, handled one more work message. Ooh, a pesky work message to Neil. You were worried about that. It did go by really quickly, and that's because it was 45 minutes. I feel like when we're used to an hour, suddenly 45 feels like it's whipping by. It's kind of crazy. Read 10-ish pages. Awesome, Heather. Worked this sprint, had just enough time to finish watching a fun fall reading vlog. Ooh, awesome, Una. I know I've been really enjoying everyone's content, like the very fall feel, vlogs and everything. I don't want the season to end because everyone's making some really cozy B-roll. Finished a chapter in both House of Beating Wings and Keeper of the Lost Cities. Ooh, so I've never heard of the first one, but the latter, that is a middle grade series I've been meaning to try. So sounds great, Missy. Ate some oatmeal. Oh, I know, and I meant to have a snack too. I did. I had some pistachios, and I got myself some orange juice because we were talking about, just like being under the weather, colds, and I don't know, orange juice just makes me feel better. So yeah, but I don't think it's enough of a snack. Like I might need to eat again. Like I need more. My books are organized by space and grouping author if I can, but with a mix of mass market, paperback, hard. Yeah, and I was never this person who really cared about sizes, but my most recent organization, I did try to put paperbacks together and hardbacks together, and it just obviously divided it even more, because that means I have a have read sci-fi paperback section. I have a have read sci-fi hardback section. And then I think maybe I've organized it too much. I may have gone too far. Got my oldest to work and started cooking dinner. I really do have to think about dinner, actually. I know I'm talking about snacking. Maybe I should actually think about what I'm going to have for dinner. No reading. Started The Secret History on audio this morning, but my DNF. Yeah, that one. I mean, there's a few reasons, because Donna Tartt, I know that her writing isn't really for everyone. Plus, she has some really problematic content in there that hasn't aged well. Even her most recent one, The Goldfinch, it's, it's a new book, and yet a lot of people have said that there's some controversial stuff, and it's really made me not want to read her. I've read A Secret History, so I did read that one years and years ago, but I've since unhauled it just because I know I would never really read it again. But yeah, that's an author that I don't know why you're thinking about DNFing it, Jen, but I know that there's a few reasons why people don't vibe with it. And I can very much understand why. It's kind of one of the reasons why I don't think I want to read her again. 8% into the September House. This last sprint, so far so good. It's very campy and very fun. Tracy, I'm not sure if you're reading it on ebook or audio, but when I was listening to the audio, I had a really good time. 15% in Leather and Lark. Made a snack protein waffle with PB, peanut butter, and dark chocolate chips. That sounds delicious, actually. And it having some extra protein, that is awesome. Meanwhile, you're running around town, aren't you? You went for a jog, went to McDonald's, pumpkin patch, stopped at the library, read 2 pages, then got distracted. Honestly, understandable. Christmas Murder Game. Your money's on Sarah being the killer. I don't even think I got that far. Oh, so, and this isn't a spoiler for anyone, but I think it was after she got locked in the like outdoor freezer arboretum place. That's after that, and she, was let back out. Oh, maybe I read a little bit further. I think it was like the night that they all locked themselves in their doors because they were like, someone wants to kill us. That's where I stopped. So I don't know, you might be further than I was. 80 pages read in Final Gambit, enjoying it so far. Awesome, which we confirmed is the 3rd book in that series. Yes, apple pie. It just sounds so good. It sounds so comfy, especially because like I'm someone who I prefer apple over pumpkin. I know people love pumpkin stuff, and pumpkin stuff is fun, but if I choose, I'm choosing apple.
Truly, the only pumpkin thing I like is pumpkin pie.
See,
and it has to have
with
cream.
ice cream.
Yeah, like it has to have, and pumpkin pie has to have like whipped cream on it. But if
I do like pumpkin cookies because they're super soft. Like the pumpkin makes them almost like cake cookies.
Right.
So I do like
but
that.
if I was like to choose an autumnal flavor, it would be apple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Apples are just superior in my opinion. But I did have a coworker at the library. He brought in pumpkin snickerdoodle cookies, and I did have like 5. And I was only working like a 4-hour shift. I was like, I'm like, you need to get these away from me because they were so good. Starting to feel sleepy. So gonna leave. No worries, Elena. I hope that you have a lovely evening and that you sleep well. Got the kiddos from school, deciding what dinner is, reading 20 pages. Awesome. 100 pages to finish. Love theoretically. Probably not something you're going to finish tonight, Livia. Maybe tomorrow. Wishing Elena, Yelena some like well wishes and good sleep. Did some yard work that sprint. Awesome. You're 33% into a YA book that's supposed to be about a dystopian future, but the female main character is 80% angst and boys and 15% being saved by her brother. Oh no, Emily, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not all YA is like this, but some YA, the teen angst and some of that stuff is just too much for me, especially dystopian future. And this is a critique for like adult dystopian as well. I'm like, you have bigger fish to fry. I'm like, there is a zombie trying to eat you and you're wondering if this guy's into you. I can't. We don't have time. We don't have time to think about it, but it's very funny to really think about that. Doing some online work training. Awesome, Courtney. Need to get another bookshelf. I have too many for the shelves right now. See, that's my problem, Heather, is that I think I could, maybe I need to get another bookshelf. And I'm like, Leandra, if you get another bookshelf, you're going to fill that bookshelf. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to need another bookshelf. But I have been thinking about putting like maybe a small bookshelf in this space because I do have the space. But I would want it to have a purpose. Like it would have to be, because it's away from the rest of my like personal library in my apartment. So if I put, like maybe a 3-tier tiny shelf here, I would, there'd need to be a reason for why it's separated from the rest of the group. Another separation, because, I need to organize to the extreme. Don't have a lot of shelves. So the size grouping is by necessity mostly. Oh yeah, trying to like do that Tetra stuff. That's how I feel about my like mass market used paperbacks. Like all my like golden age detective fiction, like Sayers and Christie and all of them. I just kind of try to Tetris them myself, which is very funny. I love that when I'm like, it's like I'm playing physical Tetris, the good old days. Yeah, how are you liking Take My Hand, Neva? It's quite heavy content, isn't it?
Yeah, it's heavy, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good, but it is. I mean,
how much further do you have in it? Like, where are you at?
I'm like not quite 50. I wouldn't say quite 50%.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I read a chunk of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very like it's heavy. Like I don't really know if this is a spoiler, so like it's fine. But like one of the
it might be if you're nearly 50%. Yeah.
Yeah, like either one. I mean, a big discussion in here is birth control.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which you said before.
And it's either one. Yeah, so there. No. Yes. So the girls in this book that she's like taking care of, that she's like a nurse for, are 11 and 13, and they get brought in to have a tubal ligation done.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, they're 11 years, like she's 11 years old.
Yeah.
Because like she'd been giving them the Depo-Provera shot, but the 11-year-old hadn't like gotten her period yet, and so she was like, I can't give her this. Like, why are we giving her this? Like, whatever. And then she like found out that they were taken in.
Can I watch Child's Play?
Sure, Ari.
Which account on?
Probably mine if it's on HBO Max.
Can I check on mine first?
Sure, it's probably not on yours. Anyways, it's Halloween time in our house. Anyways, so yeah, like they take them in and they give them like a tubal ligation, and that's like where I had left off with, because that's like happens like at the end of part 1. But like a big discussion is about like birth control and like the way that the stigma around birth control is different for Black women than it is for white women or women of color than it is for white women. So like it is, I will say, like if you're going into it, it's Black historical history. So like, or Black historical fiction. I mean, historical history, Black historical fiction, and it is written by a Black woman. So there's that, but it is heavy. Like it's not like, this is not like a light and fluffy read, but it's good. Sure. I think it's really good, and the narrator that they have for the audiobook is really good. So yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, no, and it's important. It's heavy, and it's not for everyone too. Like heavy reads, you don't have to read heavy reads. It's never something that you should force upon yourself if you're not ready for it. Like you can gain that crucial information elsewhere. But yeah, I completely understand that would be a heavy book to get through. Meanwhile, we have the word nerd, Margaret, here, because you're planning D&D, so you're not reading today. Totally understandable. However, you did end up, vying for the right answer, which is apple pie is the superior pie. I agree. It's the best. 41 minutes into the secrets we left behind. Awesome, Amal. I agree. I think it can be good, but I think that we overuse it, so that sometimes you're, having pumpkin things that aren't good. So we need to like use it wisely. Pretty much. We need to use the power of the pumpkin wisely. Whereas apple, use it all the time. You can't use it enough, to be honest. Oh my gosh, did the cat meow? And I talked over it. I didn't even notice.
What?
Weird. Anyways, we'll quickly get through some more of these comments before we go into our next sprint. But 3 cheers for apple. I completely agree. When pumpkin, oh my gosh, you want apple picking. So now you have something, all these. Yes. Oh, I love that. It's because you want apple picking. I want to try this recipe. I found it for apple pie, French toast. I'm serious. Everything, you can make everything with apple and it's better. It's delicious. It's my first year making a pie. Okay. Good luck. You got this, Teresa. I'm not sure how you're going to make the apple pie. I know this is also, up to preference. I like the Dutch apple pie where it's the crumblies on top. That's my preference. I consider apple to be the flavor for the start of fall, pumpkin for the winter. Ooh, yeah, transition. That makes sense. Yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense. I mean, I was gonna say, I was like, I'll eat it. The only thing I won't eat is pumpkin pie plain. Like I literally need it to have ice cream. The consistency is weird for me.
I put like what is that called? Whipped cream on it.
Yeah, and I can respect that. It feels too like this. It just feels like I'm eating. I think I just need something more.
It's very soft.
I need something more solid.
Yeah, it's just too soft. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Jamie, and thank you so much. Like, thanks everybody. I know that like this isn't our final time seeing each other. That I'll see you guys on Thursday. But I really do appreciate everyone who has like joined in TBR Harvest and just had the best time. It's been really fun to see everybody. So yeah, thank you guys.
I did not complete my 12 books that were picked.
And that's okay.
But it's right because I still read more of my TBR this month than I thought I would. So you know what? It truly was the month of Leandra. I read so many books off my physical TBR.
Oh, I'm glad. But actually, that's a good segue because it's like, hey guys, if you didn't get any, enough of your tasks, enough of your goals done, Rainy is here for Winterathon, a great bingo board, and Danny, who's been in and out, has Bucket Listathon, and you can easily combine the two. So if you guys need, more help to get through those goals, get through those reads, like please go support them because they did so much work. The graphics are gorgeous. It's really impressive. Do like pumpkin. Your favorite pie of all times, rhubarb strawberry pie. Ooh, now that's pretty like, not that it's niche, but it's not like, we talk about apple, we talk about pumpkin, cherry. I think it's talked about, even though I don't think people eat it very often. So yeah, but rhubarb strawberry, that's a good one. That's a really good one. And no, it's okay, Rainy. You can sleep. That's good for you. I support it. And then finished and uploaded your TBR Harvest vlog. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch it. Okay, great. Thank you so much for letting me know because then I will go watch it. Almost bought another bookshelf during that sprint. Jen, we almost tempted you. Should we try to rush to get into the sprint so that you aren't tempted anymore? Read 80 pages in a nonfiction. Awesome. Oh, a Norwegian nonfiction. I love that you're always like reading from Norwegian authors. Oh gosh.
Well, yeah. I think for me, what was the most, like, it's one thing, like, if you want to be sterilized, like, if you're an adult and you can choose that route. Like, I know people that have had tubules done. Like, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I think what was, like, appalling to me is, like, we've been following these two little girls, and then she just gets, like, this phone call that basically says, like, that they're in a lot of pain or whatever, because that's basically what happens. And she finds out, like, she's at the hospital and finds out that her boss at the clinic is the one that sent them for this. Yeah. And I'm like, at 11 and 13, like, that's crazy. Like, why would you know what I mean? Why would you do that?
Yeah. And it just, I mean, it speaks to the fact that too, like, I think earlier you were saying that you were surprised how little has changed. And it's like, yeah, no, not much has changed as far as like our understanding of like medical practices, research into women's body in general, let alone women of color. Like when they're like testing medicine, when they're testing procedures, all of it is typically for men, specifically white men, and then of course white women by proxy. And so it is like there, it 100% this idea of like, oh wow, not much has changed, and it's like, yeah, that's really serious. Like that's really serious. There's only like 5 comments left. So let me get through them and then we'll go to our final sprint. Welcome back, Julie. Julie, I just finished our buddy read pages for yesterday. I'm going to listen to your thoughts. I'm going to send you a message and then at least I'll be caught up and I can do today's pages. So woohoo. And also congratulations on being home. Southern pecan pie. See, when I was younger, I didn't appreciate the pecan and now I have actually. So, yes. Oh, and then incorrect. It's pronounced pecan. Meanwhile, I say pecan. So that's really funny. Disappeared filming. Oh no, no worries. I hope the filming went well. But seriously, that's some good stuff. Literally pecan or like pecan bars, like tarts. Oh my gosh, don't get me started. Now that's okay. That is really good actually. Not in Georgia. It's
I
not.
went through a stint where I loved chocolate pecan pie for like, I think for like 3 or 4 years, like when I was in high school. I was just like obsessed with it. I don't know why I was so obsessed with chocolate pecan pie, but I was.
Yeah. No, honestly, like it sounds delicious. I've never had it with chocolate, but I just had pecan pie and it's great. Also, hello Jess, welcome and congratulations on book mail. So exciting. I'm so happy for you. And then wow, thanks keyboard. Listen, I got you, Anna. I knew what you were saying. You meant you filmed your TBR for next month. Okay. Ooh, that's really exciting. My sister makes pecan pie dip. Oh my gosh. That actually sounds dangerous. That sounds delicious.
Awesome.
Oh, you do need to try it. Like it's really good actually. Like I feel like you don't think about it because you're like, oh, it's just a nut, but it's really, really good. Like it's amazing. But okay, so on that note, let me see here. So if we go for I think I'm gonna make us go for 50 minutes. I know that sounds really weird. But then that will give us time to kind of check in at the end and like still get a solid reading stuff done. And then we'll have maybe 10 minutes before we like move over to Kelsey because we are redirecting to Kelsey today. Woohoo! Very exciting. And also, hello, Alicia. I hope you're doing well. Okay, great. We will see everybody in about 50 minutes. So happy sprinting and thanks for being here with us. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from that final sprint. I hope that it was good to you, that either you're able to relax, get a final task done, get dinner in the oven. Let me see where we're at. I will try to be back for the close, but if not, no worries, Margaret. If anything, oh, you got some scheduling done. Okay, great. I was going to say, if anything, I hope you have a great time with D&D. And also, you and I have chatted about something that we need to, I'll get back to you. I know you said no rush, but I will get back to you. And then also, Jane finished with the book, about Palestine. Perfect, because then now you're ready for your book club, and you're going to be switching to The Quiet Tenant. And we gained a Jess. Hello, Jess. Woohoo. I hope that your day has been well. I'm sure you're at work, and now maybe your work day has finally finished. Got to 458 in the reformatory and 48% in Blanche on the Lamb. You ate Chipotle, a great choice. Played Tavern Talk. I don't know what this is, but you're gonna maybe you have to tell me. Is this a game? It sounds really fun. And yeah, thanks for being here, Ro. I hope that you had a great time and that you got some good reading done. Just got back from your walk. Danny, finally, you've made it to a talking session. I hope the walk was lovely. I haven't gone for a walk today. I've been meaning to. Jen got to 20% in Leather and Lark. And yeah, thanks for being here, especially your first time. I hope you had a good time. You said it was a great sprint, but still, I hope you had a great time, and I hope to see you again. Made it to chapter 6 and 20%. Margaret is a treat. Oh yeah. I believe it. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I know what book you're reading. I know what book you're reading. The September House. It all just clicked. Oh my gosh, she is a treat. She's a delight. And she's a really complex character, actually. Like she just, I really grew on. I grew on her. She grew on me. Home from work, going to do some video editing over at Kelsey's Prints, which we're going to. We'll be sending you guys over there. Almost 50% in. Finished My Hero Academy, Volume 39. 3 chapters into Canterville Ghost. It's a game. Think Coffee Talk if you know it, but in a more high fantasy world with magical drinks. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to star that comment so I can look that game up. It's very windy here, but other than that, it was lovely. Excited. Yeah, I know. I was like, again, Danny told us she's gonna miss it. Finished work and heading down to make supper. Sounds great, Bethany. 84% of the Millicent Quibb School of Etiquette for Young Ladies of Mad Science. That is a long title to Neil. Holy moly. Wait, why? You know what's so funny is I also was thinking that. Like, I was thinking that for some reason, like, Tracy was saying that you were a treat, Margaret, because like you were probably forcing her to read that book for Fablen. And then I was like, wait, no. In September House, the main character's name is Margaret. It took me a second as well. Oh my gosh. Made it to chapter 8. Really enjoying it so far. Awesome, Teresa. Okay, now that I've focused on you all, let's tell you how we did. I got my recording done. I'm happy with it. We're good. Now I just have to edit, and that's going to be my video for Sunday, which is really exciting. And then I finally listened to Julie's thoughts on our initial reading of Perils of Lady Catherine de Bourgh. And I told her my thoughts, and we're both loving it. It's just such a good series, friends. Like, if you really want a treat, pick up this series. The first book is Murder of Mr. Wickham. It is honestly like I really love this series so much. Anyways, I'll get off that preaching moment of go read that book. 77 pages. Oh my gosh, Hazelnut, I didn't realize how far you were in this book. Okay, you're very close to the end. I wonder if you'll be right as far as who you think the murderer is. Well, now you have to read it. Yeah.
I want to read.
It does her name right.
I know it's had like a lot of mixed reviews, but I actually want to read The Familiar now. Like it's on my TBR anyway. But Jan Agaton, she was reading it and she took a screenshot and it has my name in it.
Oh my! I wonder if it's pronounced on audio the way you pronounce it, or do you think it goes
I think from what she said, it is. So it said like Nevo, which is like I've seen my full name, like my legal name. I've seen that in books before, but never
not your nickname. Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't think I've seen your nickname either. For me, I've seen Leandra twice, weirdly enough. And there's one where a lot of people for Battle of the Booktuber were reading like Isle of the Gods, which I've learned because people have said this name so many times. One of the main characters' name is Leander, and every time someone mentions him in their vlog for round 3, I like jolt, and I'm like, how do people do this all the time? Like, who have more common names? I'm like, it's not even my name. Like, they're talking about a man named Leander, and I'm like, honestly, I was like, I can't ever read this book because it'll just annoy me that I'm seeing kind of my name.
Right.
So, Caught in a Cornfield. That one was really fun for me. Again, I kind of say YA is hit or miss. That one really worked. I thought that one was really fun for me. I haven't continued the series though, so I hope, Abs, that if you do, you keep us on your journey with you. Meanwhile, we got a lot of progress, 70% through One Piece Volume 98, 50% through Ghost Rider, 60% through Death by Coffee. Holy moly, what you were just getting through these books, that sprint. 70% through my current Paper Mario chapter. Oh gosh. And you saved this time, thank goodness. That's good. Because last time you did not, unfortunately. Read September. Oh, yay. Seriously, read September House. It is so good. And it's the author's debut, which I was really surprised by. I did not realize that. Got a book with my name. I know, it's like Tennille. That might have to be like, scavenger hunt hard mode. Finding a character with your name. I don't know. You'd have to tell us if you ever did. Hi, Dustin. You're here just in time for us to finish, but don't worry. We're going over to Kelsey's next, so we'll keep sprinting. For some reason, I've never seen the name Rope in it. I know, weird, right? Like, oftentimes, sadly, you're probably treated as an object. Grab that rope. How dare. Like, very, very insulting. Try being a Jessica. I know. That's literally how I was like, that's like, because there's famous people with your name. There's characters in books and movies. Like, I genuinely have never had that experience. It wasn't until my adulthood that I met a person, like a real life person with my name. And we both were like, this is crazy. Because then when someone would say our name, we'd be like, which one? And I was like, I've never felt this before.
I only know I've only met one person in actual life that has my legal name, my first name.
Right.
And I'll never forget her because she may have passed away by now, to be honest, but she was my cousin's ex-girlfriend's mom.
Oh my, what a connection.
And like, I met her because she would come to my great grandma's house, like for family things. And she used, like, I was little. I was like, I don't know, like Ari's age, maybe like a little bit older than Ari. And she would like play Tea Party with me, but we had the same name. And I never met anybody that had the same name as me.
Yeah, it's really surreal because you're like, okay, well, this might never happen again. You don't realize it in that moment, but you're like, this is very weird. Meanwhile, Margaret says, my favorite podcast has a recurring guest with my name. Jump scare. Honestly, like, it's really startling when you're only used to hearing your name directed to you. But Julie, you almost missed the chat, but don't worry, you got more of me to hear because I sent you a voice message about our book. I think there was one time my parents were watching Seinfeld. Ooh, and George Costanza shouted, "The Captain and Tennille." Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's actually a really good one. But that didn't even come to my mind. Last time I saw my name in a book, it was The Oath. Ooh, I haven't read The Oath, but it sounds like it wouldn't be a book you'd want to be in. See, that's the terrible thing, is that would be really interesting to read a book and you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to be in this scenario. Like, I don't know. Like, why do I have to be in this scary book or this messed up book? So good, Jess. Yes. Agreed, for sure. and also the September House. I just remembered that's one of my host favorites. So Tracy, if you're reading it for that, thanks. I completely forgot that's might be why you're reading it. I feel like the Jessicas and Hannahs and Rachels of the world are used to that. Well, that's true too. I think there's a difference, but if you're used to it, but then it would be completely different, I think, experience-wise, if you're like, I was in a class with 2 other Jessicas before or something. That's true. Hardly ever see my name. And if I do, it's usually spelled, differently with the H. That's a good point.
I only see my legal name consistently with one author and they spelled it different. The first
Oh,
letter is different.
that's true too. Different spellings, like that's a thing. And actually, friends, the reason why I find this so interesting is my undergrad, my undergrad thesis was on names, so this is really fun for me. Also, Teresa, Mother Teresa, maybe you hear a lot of those things, which is also kind of interesting. Graduated with 3 other Kellys, and one was male. Yeah, that's also like gender neutral names. Fascinating to me. Think I have never seen my name Glenda. Oh, but in movies, right? Glenda, the Wizard of Oz. Isn't that the yeah, okay. It's like, isn't that her name? Had to DNF a romantasy because the main male's lead name is the same as my nephew. Is yeah, that's the other thing. Association. It's not even your name. It's just like a name that you affiliate with someone else.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
like a
remember what.
nephew too.
There was a romance book where I
Look at
read.
this. Someone with the same name, Neva.
Okay, so for most of my life, I also went by my full government name.
Mm-hmm.
It's only really been, I mean, growing up, like I had like a family nickname. Like my family nickname was Nevy.
Mm-hmm.
So like no one called me, like teachers and stuff calling me by my government name. But then after like high school,
Can I make my food now?
yes. After high
Glinda,
school,
I apologize. It was Glinda. Sorry, Glinda.
they stopped. Like I just shortened it because first of all it was easier. Like all the cousins called me
Mm-hmm.
Eva. That was easier for children to pronounce, and so it just kind of like stuck. No, it just kind of stuck for everybody else. But like if you use my government name, I'm not gonna be mad about it. But it does kind of it puts me into like a weird place because like growing up, my family only called me by my full name if I was in trouble. So
Mm-hmm.
depending on how you say my name, you can Braden's. You can get like a weird, like a very like startled reaction out of me if you say it. Like if you say it like you're angry at me, like it will actually like make me be like, "What? Like what did I do?" Like, but
Yeah, you're like, "Who? What's going on?" Oh yeah, I was in Lotta's. Okay, so Lotta from Lotta's Nook does 13 Days of October of like Halloween, and last year she did like a horror book where she put a bunch of her like booktube friends, and yeah, Danny was in it. That was really funny. For me, being named Nicole, yeah, actually, I don't see it often in fiction. That's interesting too. So it's like common socially, but maybe not common in a book. Yeah, especially depending on the genre you read too, I suppose, as well. As a kid, I heard that a lot, I'm sure. There were 90s kids in my graduating class. There were 6 Jessicas. It was something. Yeah, I'm sure it's just like, yeah, hey. And then you're like Jessica, and you have like they've got to say your last name or your initial. Wasn't that, oh, we got to go over to Kelsey's. But I have, this is very funny.
I did not even think to do that.
Yeah. But very quickly, we have to go because we're going to send you guys over to Kelsey's. But this has been really fun, friends. Like I said before, I will be hosting closing sprints for TBR Harvest on Thursday, but there's also going to be Fablen closing sprints. So you might have to do some, sprint hopping, which we totally support. And yeah, we'll see you guys over at Kelsey's. Again, thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.